Hi, I'm Jim Knotts, President and CEO of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Fund. Welcome to today's virtual reading of the names. 2022 marks the 40th anniversary of the dedication of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C. As part of our commemoration, we'll host an in-person reading of the names at the wall from November 7th through 10th, 2022, when all 58,281 names on the wall will be read aloud. In the lead up to that event, we'll be reading names each day online while sharing the photos of these heroes. For our daily virtual reading, the names of the service members will be read by month and day of death between the years 1956 and 1975 in alphabetical order for the given day. We apologize in advance for any mispronunciations. Know that our readers are doing their best to honor these service members. We hope you'll listen and watch each day and share with others as we remember and honor those who gave their lives during the Vietnam War.
Jed Edward Ashby, Robert Leo Babula, Willie Cecil Baker, Frank Leroy Barbie, Bob Barber, Robert Allen Beavers, Larry Jean Bell, Frank Leroy Bellant, John Eugene Bodenschatz Jr., Robert Curtis Borton Jr., Johnny Steve Bosser, Willard J. Bouchard Jr., Samuel Walter Brewer, Theodore Brown, Marcus Brown Jr., Frank Leon Browning, Charles C. Buchanan, Dennis Bucklew, Michael J. Collar, Boyd Canfield, Dennis Ray Carter, Billy Joe Cottle, Charles Don Champion, Salem Edward Shard Jr., Stephen Lynn Coffey, Arlen Darrell Collins, Douglas Alex Cook, Robert Lee Coonrod, Bobby Cecil Cover, Thomas Reginald Cowley, James Joseph Criswell, Philip Robert Curran, James Curry Jr., Dennis Dean Davis, William Terrell Davis, William Francis Davis Jr., Bradley Richard DeGeneros, Pedro Diaz, James Alden Dowdy, Terry Lee Ecker, David Harm Essman, William Arthur Finkel, Orlando Flonery, Kenneth Raymond Ford, Alfonso Foster, Marco Ariella Fregaso, Stephen Lewis Gary, James Lear Glover Jr., Robert Gonzalez, Anthony John Grasso, Welby Herbert Grayson III, Eugene Griffin, Jerry Eugene Guerra, Edward Cox Hammerbeck, Jimmy Leo Harris, William Joseph Hart Jr., John Thomas Hartley, Raymond Leon Hodges Jr., Clay Holt Jr., Mark Lauren Hook, Michael Gale Hudson, Michael Joseph Ingracia, Johnny Franklin Jackson, Charles Edward Jackson,
Jose Francisco Jimenez, Richard Kenneth Jokren, Marcus Claude Jones, William Robert Kelly, Thomas Robert Lamb, Walter Merle Langford Jr., Charlie Murphy Leonard, Philip Willard Leslie, Raymond Patrick Link, Gary Lee Love, Joe Luna Jr., Bernard Merle Lusk, Paul Bernard Madden, Joseph A. Mamaliti, Anthony Manganeo Jr., Richard Earl Martinez, Michael Allen McCanich, Robert Warren McCabe Jr., David Paul McCord, Thomas Patrick McKearns, William McKnight, Jr., Johnny Lee Meeks, Julian Mendez, Thomas Hubert Messer, Robert Charles Miller, Eric Paul Mistreda, Michael Jeffrey Mitchell, Jose Luis Moreno, J. Allen Muncy, Johnny Munoz, Armando Sanchez Navarro, Curtis Lee Nelson, Jerry Lee Newman, Marcelino Nieves Colon, Jr., Jerome Dean Patterson, Elbert Austin Phillips, William Lynn Pitt, James Robert Pizziano, Victor M. Plord, William Fay Raburn, Samuel K. Rankins, Jan Ivan Raseniuk, John Curtis Reeves, Arbal Roland, Jr., Clarence H. St. Clair, Jr., Gerald Hilbert Sampson, Nick Enrique Sanchez, Alan Angel Santiago, Patrick Angelo Santo, William Joseph Scannell, David Thomas Schaefer, Thomas Edward Siemens, Larry Lee Sexton, Ronald Steve Shepard, Edward Herbert Sherrod, Charlie Simmons, Jr., Robert Louis Simpson, Donald Richard Smith, Donald Boyd Smith, Charles Soto, Alvin Wayne Stallcup, Blair William Starkey, Robert Hugh Steele, Paul Marion Stockwell, Joseph Ernest Tafoya, William Russell Taylor, Isaiah Thomas, Tom Michael Thomas, Dallas Eugene Thompson, Victor M. Tosado Hernandez, Michael Hamilton Tootin, Ralph Henry von der Hoff, Richard James Wagner, Lawrence Waiters, Charles Franklin Wallace, Robert James Washington, William Walter Waters, Jr., Patrick Williams, Thomas Vernon Williams, Jr., Theodore Anthony Walters,